This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutastrophe. Welcome to the final Sports Catastrophe video of 2022. It is the birthday video for December 31st, and this man is a legend in soccer history, in managerial history. Of course, I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Man U nut, but this guy was known for his generosity, especially Man U, coaching 27 seasons from 1986 to 2013. Many of my listeners probably are not even 27 years old in the first place. But he's done a lot of things. He was even a top goal scorer in the Scottish League at one time. He even won 3 Scottish League championships, 4 Scottish Cups, and the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in Scotland. And then when he went to Man U, he helped them win 38 trophies, 13 of them Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, and 2 Champions League titles. He was even knighted for stuff. So yeah, he did his job. He's Alex Ferguson, who's now 81 years old. So Ferguson was born in Glasgow. He was an amateur with Queen's Park, and then, he moved to St. Johnstone to play for that Scottish team, and all that. There were rumors he was even going to emigrate to Canada at one time, according to some notes. He had a plan to go to Canada, but Ferguson was picked to play for St. Johnstone against Rangers because they couldn't sign another forward. So Ferguson played against Rangers and crushed them 3-2, putting up a hat-trick at Ibrox. While St. Johnstone didn't retain him, Dunfermline made him, and he became a full-time starter and all that. He was dropped from the Scottish Cup final against Celtic because of poor form. It didn't help that Dunfermline lost 3-2, and then they lost the league by a point. Despite all that, he became the top goal scorer in the Scottish League with 31 in 1966, which was amazing. Then Rangers signed him for £65,000, which was a record fee for a transfer between 2 Scottish clubs. He did well for Europe, even winning a few key moments. He did the Inner Cities Fairs Cup and all that, losing it. Anyway, they said he was discriminated at Rangers because he married a Catholic, Kathy Holding, all that. He figured that his exclusion from the top team was because of her religion, all that. Yeah, there was still a lot of problems and all that. Nottingham Forest almost signed him to a contract while still playing, but his wife didn't want to go to England, so he went to Falkirk for 4 years. So anyway, he decided to become a manager. Went to St. Mirren in 1974. So he helped them out. It got them all the way from second division to first division, winning the 1977 title, which was like shocking. All that, getting like some great Scottish players and all that. Obviously, not many of our fans would know who these players are. So anyway, St. Mirren actually sacked Ferguson and all that. Ferguson could have went to Aberdeen. But after 1 year, Billy McNeil went back to Celtic, so that meant Fergie could go back to Aberdeen, went to Aberdeen, so he did. So Aberdeen was a pretty decent team and all that. They lost in the 1980 Scottish League Cup final to Dundee. However, that was the start of something very successful and all that. He had a siege mentality at Aberdeen and all that. They won the 1982 Scottish Cup and all that. He almost went to Wolverhampton, but no, he didn't. He helped Aberdeen get to the European Cup Winners' Cup because they won the Scottish Cup. So because they weren't won their league's cup, they got to go to this tournament. They beat up Bayern Munich, and they won the Cup Winners' Cup over Real 2-1 in 1983. Aberdeen became the third Scottish team to win a European trophy, and Ferguson thought he would look pretty good. They ended up beating Hamburg in the European Super Cup. You know, the European Cup champs and the Cup Winners' Cup champions would face each other. Aberdeen beat Rangers and did their job. Aberdeen would win the Scottish double of the league and cup in 1984. It was named an OBE in 1985. And teams like Rangers over in Scotland and Arsenal in England offered him a job. But he stayed in Aberdeen. He wasn't sure what to do about everything. Fergie rejected Tottenham's job, Arsenal's job, and Luton's job. But a lot of people said that Manchester United were ready to move on from Ron Atkinson, and he did. Atkinson was released in November 1986, and so Fergie took the job. Let's not forget that Fergie actually was the head coach of the 1986 Scottish team in the World Cup, mostly because of Jock Stein's ill-fated passing during a qualifier for Scotland in 1985. Ferguson said he needed to take control. Scotland beat Australia in the two-leg playoff to get to that thing. Unfortunately, though, Scotland could not get to the knockout stages, which is usually a theme for Scotland's national team. So he got appointed in November 1986. And he was not happy with the players drinking too much and being depressed by their fitness. But he increased the players' discipline, and Man U actually ended up being in 11th place. So he did his job. All that. Man U got a little bit happy and all that. So anyway, Man U finally getting their job by 1990. And rumors were circulating that Fergie was about to be sacked in the middle of the 1990 season. Man U went to Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup, and a lot of people were expecting Nottingham Forest to beat Man U and to basically have Ferguson leave Man U for good. However, thanks to a Mark Robins goal, Man U won the game 1-0. And they eventually got to the final, winning over Crystal Palace. Anyway, Man U did their job. Manchester United would go on to do a lot better, especially when they headed for the 93 season and all that. Eric Cantona was purchased from Leeds for over 1.2 million British pounds, and Man U's future looked bright and all that. Fergie did their job, helping Man U win the 93 title, winning the Premier League, which was the first time that the English First Division was called the Premier League, made it more lucrative. So they did it. They ended up winning by 10 points anyhow. He then added Roy Keane for over 3.7 million British pounds. United won the 94 Premier League. He was not too happy when Eric Cantona got in trouble with his kung fu kick on the Crystal Palace supporter, even though that fan actually did, get him in trouble and all that. But Man U still had their job to do. Of course, one of the biggest moments happened. And they had the treble in 1999. In England, you win the Premier League, which is the league, the Cup, which is the FA Cup, the famous FA Cup, and the European competition. That's the treble. League Cup and Super Cup, if you will. Anyway, it was huge. In the Champions League group of death with Bayern Munich and Barcelona, Man U took second behind only Bayern Munich. Man U beat Liverpool in the fourth round. The FA Cup looked good. Arsenal was looking to win the Premier League, but they failed miserably. In the semi-finals of the FA Cup, Arsenal and Man U played each other in a replay, and then Ryan Giggs had that famous shot when he ran the length of the pitch and evaded several Arsenal players to score the goal, and then he took his shirt off. Man U would beat Newcastle in the FA Cup final and then won the Premier League. They were going to the Champions League final versus Bayern, and it was huge and all that. Man U was down 1-0, then added time happened. Sheringham scored to tie it at 1. And then 3 minutes later, Solskjaer won it, and Man U won 2-1. It was amazing. And Manchester was happy with all that. So I can go on and on and on again against him and all that. But from 1986 to 2013, he helped Man U become the cream of the crop in English soccer. Well, it's not that way now, but it still doesn't matter. 47 years at a club, that's amazing. And I've been on this earth for 37 years myself. Anyway. So Fergie helped Man U become a credible threat and all that. Of course, he had controversies such as treating certain players, allegedly aiming a football boot at David Beckham's head. And Fergie time. A lot of people said that, a lot of referees added more and more times to help Man U score a goal and all that. Although it did say that there were some issues. He has a couple of Sir Alex Ferguson's statues and all that. He's done pretty well for himself. Personal life, he lives in Cheshire with his wife Kathy, having 3 sons. One of his sons, Darren, was a manager of Peterborough United. Not in Canada, but anyway. And Jason, his other son, actually directed the documentary in 2021, Sir Alex Ferguson Never Give In, about his father. He's known for being with the Labour Party and Fergie actually supported Scotland remaining in the UK. Anyway, it just was huge what he could do. So yeah, as a player, he helped St. Johnstone win Division 2 in 1963, Falkirk in 1970 with Division 2, Division 1 top scorer in 1966, and as a manager, he was a legend. Helped St. Mirren win the Scottish Cup League in 1977, Aberdeen 1980, 1984, 1985, won the Premier Top Division, the Cup in 82, 83, 84, and 86, Scottish League Cup in 86, Cup Winners' Cup in 1983, which was amazing. But for Man U, legend, Premier League, 93, 94, 96, 97, 99, 2000, 2001, 2003, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2011, 2013. Amazing. FA Cups in 90, 94, 96, 99, and 04, 5 overall. League Cup, 92, 06, 09, and 10. UEFA Champions League, 99 and 2008, getting a couple runners-up in 09 and 2011. European Super Cup in 1991, the Intercontinental Cup in 1999. He's a legend. He's a freaking legend. With Man U, he won 895 games, lost 267, tied 338 games. In 1,500 matches with Man U, 1,500, he got a 59% winning percentage. 59%, which is pretty impressive. It was Fergie time, baby, and all of English soccer would have to learn from this guy. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.